I walked myself into a marriage that was never mine, just to keep him with another woman. In the end, even my child was something he chose to erase. The night before the wedding, Ethan stood by the floor-to-ceiling window, his back rigid, like a man bracing for impact. I thought he was nervous. I thought it was normal. Then he spoke. His brother had been in a car accident. A coma, maybe forever. Emily was pregnant with his brother's child. He turned to me, eyes pleading but cold. He said he had to marry her. I laughed. It sounded unreal, like a bad joke. Then he said the rest. You can marry my brother. We'll still be family. Something inside me broke so cleanly I could almost hear it. 6 years of love erased in one sentence. What am I then? I asked. He hesitated. This is the only way. He promised it was temporary, said he wouldn't touch her, said 3 years later he'd divorce her and come back to me. A transition. That's what he called it. I should have left, but I didn't. That night, he knelt outside my apartment in the rain for 3 days. No food, no water. The police came. He refused to move. If you don't open the door, he said, I'll stay here until I die. So I opened it. That was the moment I lost everything. A few days later, he married Emily in a wedding that flooded every headline. Perfect couple, perfect union. And me. No ceremony, no title. I moved into the mansion in silence, carrying a suitcase into a life that didn't exist. Lucas lay in bed, unconscious, unresponsive. My husband, a stranger who would never wake. At first, everyone pretended there were boundaries. Then Emily started calling for him. Leg cramps, stomach pain, nightmares. Ethan went every time. Soon he stopped coming back at all. Weeks later, he moved into her room. She needs someone, he told me. I had no right to argue. Then she cried. Said Lucas was pitiful, lying there without a wife by his side. Sad maybe he'd wake if someone talked to him every day. Ethan came to me again. This is your responsibility. So I moved into Lucas's room. I bathed him, fed him, talked to a man who never answered. And on the other side of the house, they became everything they promised they wouldn't. Doctor visits, shopping trips, public appearances. People called them perfect. No one remembered me. I faded into the background of my own life until one night, I passed their bedroom. The door was slightly open. The light inside was soft. Emily's voice drifted out, gentle, happy. She guided his hand to her stomach, said the baby was moving. Our baby, she said. That was the moment I understood every promise was a lie. 3 years of waiting, nothing but my own delusion. Back in my room, my hands shaking, I opened an old message. An overseas assignment sent 3 years ago, still unanswered. Because I was waiting for him. Not anymore. I accepted. The next morning, I refused her for the first time. She asked for breakfast. I walked away. Did and single quotes to get far. Ethan stopped my car on the highway. His eyes were colder than I'd ever seen. He said I pushed Emily, said I almost caused a miscarriage. I tried to explain. He didn't listen. At the hospital, they forced me onto a bed, drew my blood, tube after tube. If she loses blood, he said, you pay it back. I nearly blacked out. That was when I woke up. The man I loved was already gone. When I opened my eyes again, he was sitting beside me, calm, distant. You're pregnant, he said. My mind went blank. It happened a month ago, the one night he came to me. Then he spoke again. We can't keep it. Emily was pregnant too. She couldn't be stressed. I had been drinking. It wasn't suitable. Ending it was the best option. I asked him, her child is alive. Mine isn't. He didn't answer. They wheeled me into surgery. That was the moment I stopped loving him, but it still wasn't over. They accused me of cheating, said the child wasn't his, dragged me into the ancestral hall, forced me to kneel. They said I had to be punished. The whip struck again and again. blood soaked through my clothes. I could barely stand, but they held me up. I looked up. He was kneeling in front of Emily, helping her change her shoes, gentle, careful, the way he used to be with me. I smiled. No tears came. That was the moment I let go. I went back to my room and erased him from my life. Photos, letters, gifts, everything. Even the camera he gave me, I gave it away. That night, my photos went viral. The internet turned on me. Gold digger, homewrecker, liar, and him? He released a statement immediately, said I was greedy, said I caused his brother's accident, said everything was my choice. I became the villain. The next day, they dragged me back again. Said the problem was I hadn't fulfilled my duties as a wife. Said I needed to complete the wedding night in front of everyone. They pinned me down, tore my clothes apart, cold eyes surrounded me. In that moment, I died. At midnight, I lit the ancestral hall on fire. Flames swallowed everything, every lie, every ounce of filth. I walked out of that house like I was leaving a grave. Got into a taxi. Airport, I said Dot as the plane took off. I closed my eyes. 3 years of hell finally over. Somewhere behind me, he was screaming my name through the fire. But this time, I didn't turn back.